A very warm welcome to Tech Mining. In this video, you will learn how to access multiple Oracle Apex applications without re-entering login credentials using Single Sign-On. Single Sign-On is a user authentication service that allows an end user to enter a set of login credentials, ID and password, and be able to access multiple related, yet independent, software systems. Google, LinkedIn, Twitter and Facebook all offer popular SSO services that allow an end user to log into a third-party application with their social media authentication credentials. The main benefit of Social SSO is that it mitigates risk for access to third-party sites, because user passwords are not stored or managed externally. It also reduces fatigue to keep different username and password combinations, which consequently spares time. Besides benefits, the major disadvantage of this approach is that it can present security risks because it creates a single point of failure that can be exploited by attackers. Once attackers gain control over a user's SSO credentials, they will be able to access all other applications that use the same credentials. In this video series we are going to perform two SSO tasks. The first one is called Internal SSO that allows access to multiple Oracle Apex applications within a single workspace with a single authentication. The second one that will be demonstrated in another video, is called Social Sign-On. This authentication method will allow access to Oracle Apex applications via Google, Facebook, and other social accounts. Let's first go through the internal SSO process in which we are going to implement an internal single sign-on mechanism that will prevent users from having to re-enter their IDs and password to access different applications in a workspace. If you create multiple independent apps in an Apex workspace, you are required to re-enter your credentials to access each app. In this video you will learn how to prevent this situation by allowing users to enter their credentials only once to access multiple Apex applications. In order to execute these steps you must have at least 2 applications in your workspace. In this tutorial, we are going to use the sample reporting and sample maps applications. Corresponding entries will be added to the navigation bars of both applications to access each other without re-entering login credentials. You will have to log in once into the first application. When you log into the first application, you will be assigned a session ID that will be passed on to the map application. Note that the session ID remains the same when you switch between the 2 applications. Let's start the proceedings. Open the first application and access its shared components page. In the Security section, select the Authentication Schemes option. Click the default Application Express Accounts scheme. Click the Session Sharing tab and select Workspace Sharing from the type list. You use the Workspace Sharing attribute to share the same application express session between multiple applications in a workspace. With session sharing, users can seamlessly navigate between applications without logging in multiple times. Note that Oracle Apex changes this attribute to custom and sets a cookie name the next time you access this setting. Take a note of the second application ID. Edit the first one. Go to Shared Components. Click the Navigation Bar List option. Click on Navigation Bar. Create a new navigation entry pointing to the second application in the workspace. Enter a label for the target application that you want to call using this navigation entry. Set target type attribute to URL and enter the URL. Note that the application ID 137346 in this URL is the ID of the target map application. A new navigation bar entry will be added to the list. Next, note down the ID of the first application. Then, modify the second application. Repeat the same session sharing step as you did for the first application, and create a navigation bar entry to access the first application from the second one. In the URL target attribute, set ID of the first application. Everything is set. Let's test our work. Run the first application and log into it. On the navigation bar you will see the navigation entry for the map application. Click this entry to access the map application without signing into it. In the map application, you will see the entry for the first application. Click this entry to switch back. Note that when you switch between these two applications, the session ID remains the same. That's it. Hope that this tutorial has provided you some new information. If you liked it, then please give it a thumb up and subscribe to Tech Mining to get more informative videos. Thank you for watching.